Hello, fellow peasants. Tonight I'll be reviewing 1988's They Live. Okay, guys, so I just got done watching They Live. This came out in 1988, directed by John Carpenter, stars Roddy Piper and Keith David. What's it about? I've never seen this before. This is my first time watching it, actually. I knew roughly what it was about. I knew about the sunglasses. I've seen scenes from the film, but I have not seen the film until tonight. What's it about? Basically, it's about Roddy Piper. He plays this guy who's homeless. He moves to LA. He's looking for a job. He gets a job at a construction site. He's living in a homeless encampment. And him and his buddy Frank, played by Keith David, start noticing some really weird shit on the TV. This broadcast keeps cutting into the regular programming, saying that the aliens are taking over, the elite want to kill you, they're greedy, blah, 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 blah. And then the church across the street from the homeless encampment is doing all kinds of weird shit. And then eventually there's a police raid, and they shoot and kill a bunch of people at the church, arrest them. And he's like, what is going on? So he finds these sunglasses in the church, and he puts them on, and he's walking around Los Angeles, and he starts seeing like people who without the sunglasses look like normal human beings, but they're aliens. And then all the magazine covers, all the billboards, all that type of stuff, all of that is subliminal messaging. Like there's a picture that says "Go to the Caribbean," right? And then like when he puts the glasses on, that says "Get married and reproduce," or "Obey," or just like watch TV. Like there's just all this subliminal messaging. Once you have the sunglasses on, that's brainwashing the human population. And basically he spends the rest of the film trying to figure out what's going on, kills a bunch of fucking rich aliens, and tries to shut down the signal that they're using to brainwash humanity with. Now, what do I like? What do I not like? What I like is the message. I like the message of fuck the system, take it over, smash the system, smash the state, anti-authority. Like this film has aliens, right? Okay, like the rich in this film are aliens, but the real message of the film is against the real life billionaire class, the multi-millionaire class, the class warfare, exploitation of the lower and middle classes. And so yeah, the whole film really just presses upon you class warfare, brainwashing, and just how much of an uphill climb it is to fight against a corrupt system. Okay. I also like the they even mentioned climate change in this, man. Like they even mentioned climate change. Basically, like the aliens in this or / billionaire class see the like they're even willing, they see the earth as like a third world country, and so they're willing to destroy it, exploit human beings, do whatever they need to do to enrich themselves in the moment and move on. Okay. So that kind of ties into politics today with climate change and things like that. People willing to pollute and destroy the planet for short-term profits, not giving a fuck about their children and grandchildren in the future. I like the way it's shot. Dean Cundey did not shoot this film. Some other guy did, but it looks like Dean Cundey's work. Really like the look of that. I like the main character in this. He's a simple guy. He just wants to work at his construction site and hang out at his homeless encampment, but he ends up getting wrapped up into this like crazy alien Illuminati take over the planet 1% billionaire conspiracy shit, and it's just a roller coaster ride. There's a fight scene in this that's really long that I guess inspired the Peter Griffin chicken fight. I guess that inspired that, or this inspired that. And I really like that fight scene. I guess John Carpenter came out and said, look, there's no deeper meaning to it. There's no deeper meaning to this other than we had a professional wrestler on the cast and we wanted to have a fight scene. But when I watched the fight scene, the first thing I thought was, this fight scene is symbolic of, like, to me it seems very symbolic of how hard it is to convince people that they've been lied to. You know what I mean? Like, once you've drank the Kool-Aid, you know, it's hard to tell someone, look, the whole system's fucked up. Like you're being screwed on a daily basis. Like everything is rigged against you. You know, some people want to believe it, and people are like, okay, you know, but a lot of people, they don't want to believe they're getting screwed over on a daily basis. They don't want to believe that the system's rigged against them, and that the deck is stacked. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to believe that. So a lot of times people will just shut their brains off and go, well, I'll just be content. It's a lot harder to fight a corrupt system than it is to be content with inside of it. And so the fact the fight goes on so long, it takes him so long to get that motherfucker to put those sunglasses on, to me is symbolic of like how much work and effort it takes just to get someone to see what's going on. So some people just want to keep living in ignorance, okay? Ignorance is bliss. What do I not like? I think the film, for the most part, is paced well. It's just, I wish there was a little bit more. I don't know how to describe this really, but at some point the film, you're like, okay, I see what's going on, I get what's going on, and the mystery of what's going on is kind of given to you a little too early. I wish like it would be more of a slow burn to you figuring out exactly what's going on. But you kind of figure out halfway through, and then the rest of the film you're like, okay, well, I know what's going on, so what are we doing now? Like, you know, we're kind of killing some time here. But it's kind of a nitpick. I mean, I just wish like maybe things would happen on more of a grander scale. Like the film feels like it was on a limited budget or something. Like it could have been done on more of a mass scale maybe. And I think that maybe since it didn't, I guess what I'm saying is if you're going to reveal what's going on halfway through the film and there's not much left to explore, let's make it feel more grand than it is. Let's widen the scope of this film. But the film stays very small, very small in its scope and approach, and which is fine as long as you're doing like a slow burn and the revelation comes at the end of the film. When the revelation comes halfway through, it's like, okay, like we got to branch out here a bit. We can't just keep walking around from people's apartments or to grocery stores and looking at them. And so I just think things should have expanded a bit in terms of scope past the halfway point once everything is kind of explained. Okay. But other than that, I really enjoyed the film. I think it's two things are going on. It's kind of funny. I like the little alien guys. And then just the humor in it. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Or whatever he says like that. Like when he goes into the bank. Like, that's hilarious. But yeah, guys, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I like the humor in it. I like the messaging in it. The whole like fuck the system, the rich are trying to screw us over, and what are we gonna do about it? You know, like this movie's so ahead of its time. I mean, not that there wasn't like a gilded age in the 1920s and 30s where the rich oppressed the lower classes, but we're definitely getting back into that now, especially since all the deregulation and things that happened in the late 70s and early 80s with the Reagan administration. So I think that like this film, especially now that we're heading back towards what some have considered a second Gilded Age, this film is very appropriate, and yeah, I think it's great, man. It's great. If I were to rate They Live on a 1 to 10, I would say I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10. Like this isn't a film that I would rank like, oh my God, it's up there with my favorites, like The Shining and The Exorcist and The Ninth Gate and Sleepy Hollow and, you know, some of my favorite films of all time. Like, no, but it's a solid B. It's a solid B. I liked it. All right, guys, let me know what you think about They Live down in the comments below. Have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.